September 11th, 2001 was a day of epic heroism. An event for which the world could have never been prepared, 9/11 arguably taught America more about itself than any previous historical crisis. There is no sense to tragedy, no right way to react, and certainly no chance of complete recovery. But what there is a right way to recall its memory. What history demonstrates is that what we do with those remembrances is equally as important as the event itself. As George Santayana once wisely stated in his Reason and Common Sense, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. For when something so horrific happens, for which there is no control or reversal, we must assume responsibility for the memories in order to ensure a preserved future. Thus, in the name of freedom, it is up to us to bear witness and vow to never forget the selfless and heroic humanism displayed on September 11th. 9/11, I spent the entire day outside. We had been sent home early after an emergency school assembly, leaving me to sort through the confusion all alone. Lying on the trampoline on my back, I stared at the clear, calm autumn sky as if expecting to see another plane come soaring through the air. My understanding of the day was limited, but it enabled me to lay there in the comfort of unawareness. 700 miles away beneath the same sunny sky, horror was unraveling, about which I had only heard. Unreachable, my brother was located on a naval destroyer in the Persian Gulf. The thoughts and prayers of my family were with him halfway around the world. Far from the New York scene, I spent the day wondering what this incomprehensible event would mean for my brother Zach. All I knew was that my big brother, my hero, could be in trouble, and I was completely and utterly helpless. That day, chaos reigned. I was only one of over 300 million American citizens robbed of order, Zach unreachable, and I was consumed by terror. Thankfully, though I did not know it at the time, my brother would be all right. Looking upon the powerful images and memoirs of that fateful morning has in the long run granted me a unique sense of reassurance. The impact of the event's unimaginable terror was so raw, so unprecedented, that it was impossible for the traumatic artifacts produced to speak anything but the truth. What these historic vehicles have allowed is for the existence of more than just one hero in my life. For so long, Zach had single-handedly stood for all that embodied selfless bravery, the kind of bravery that on September 11th I would see in the rest of the country. That day, countless individuals were willing to lay down their lives at the heroic hand of civic duty and patriotism. When the time for decision arrived, firefighters, passengers, and civilians alike acted selflessly and without hesitation. The memory of one of America's most tragic historic events, while one of horror and loss, is also one of unparalleled nobility. Ultimately, the goal of terrorism went unfilled. Intended to cause scarring division among the country through the infliction of fear, 9/11 further united our country in active heroism. Seeing, remembering, and honoring the tragedy as it ought to be recalled is precisely what allowed for this American victory.
As talked about in her essay, Hirsch describes photography as the medium that enables a tighter relationship between the self and a once distant other. Bonded beneath the suffering of a shared cultural or collective trauma, the establishment of a common identity is made possible.
By attempting to share in the trauma through reflecting upon its images, my conception of the tragedy has transcended sentiments of pity and landed in the realm of patriotism. Today, my brother is just one of my many sources of national pride, and to post-memory, I am forever grateful for the comfort my newfound heroes have provided me. A day of unparalleled humanism, we shall never forget the proud memory of September 11th.